Welcome everybody to When Jocelyn Speaks. I am extremely excited to do this show today for so many reasons you do not know. So if you have been following my posts, if you have been supporting me on social media, you have seen that I have been talking about airing today. So thank you to those of you who are here and those of you who will come back later to watch after it is recorded. Now, just to give you a little bit of background about what to expect here on When Jocelyn Speaks, we are going to be speaking on topics of today. Of course, being that I am a black woman, we will be speaking on issues that I see from a black woman's standpoint. And we will also be discussing topics that you submit. So if there's something that you feel we need to touch base on, and that if we come together as a collective, we can start repairing things that are broken, or putting people in a position to know what to do and know how to handle different aspects in life. And because let's face it, there is power when we come in numbers, okay? So today's topic, y'all, is why black women fail as a collective. Now, there are so many things that I'll say over this course of the show, which will probably roughly be about an hour, give or take. But I want everyone to view this show in an unbiased standpoint. I want everyone to view this show with an open mind and clarity. You know, sometimes we have to untrain what we have been taught in order to retrain ourselves, because a lot of things are systematic. A lot of things are instilled in us from childhood. A lot of things are instilled in us from trauma, or just things that we have been through. And we have to be able to walk into our power and say, you know what? I have the power to change this, or I have the power to change that. We do have the power to change whatever it is that we want to change, as long as we believe that we can change it. So again, y'all, When Jocelyn Speaks is going to be a show that is going to make you laugh, a show that is going to make you cry, a show that may even anger you on certain topics. It's going to be a show of coming together. It's going to be a show of unity. It's going to be a show of many different things. So I hope that you all will welcome this show, and that you will put it on your schedule. You'll put it on your planner, or you'll set the notifications for any time that I do go live here on When Jocelyn Speaks. So once again, y'all, welcome to my show. I'm so excited to have y'all. So let's go ahead and dive right in and talk about why black women fail as a collective. Now, of course, if you are going to be asking questions, you can feel free to ask those questions. I will respond to some of those as I can during the show. Now, being a black woman has been something that has been so empowering for me. It has been something that has been so liberating for me. But it has also showed me a lot of triumphs. It has showed me a lot of different hurdles that I had to face. It has showed me that I had to have more power than a lot of different other people would, simply because I am a black woman. Now, black women fail as a collective for an abundance of things. And I already know that a lot of people will be looking at this show like, what is Jocelyn going to say? What is she going to speak? And I am here to say that as a black woman, I support all black women. I support humanity. I support people. But considering, once again, that I am a black woman, I have to make reference from a black woman's standpoint. So please, y'all, allow me to speak. Black women fail as a collective first and foremost out of past traumas. Black women fail as a collective because what they have been through in their childhood. Black women fail as a collective because they have their guards up. Black women fail as a collective because we have been torn. Black women fail as a collective because a lot of us are ignorant. Meaning you just simply do not know. You have not been taught a particular mindset. You haven't been taught proper morals, proper ethics. So I definitely want to hone in on a lot of these different things that I did just name. Black women fail as a collective. And this is for some black women, not all. I have to be very mindful about what I say, because there may be some who will be watching this and say, you know what, Jocelyn, that's not me. And that's fine. But we have to consider the fact that a lot of black women have come from broken homes. I'm talking about you that's watching. I'm talking about me who's speaking. And this is the core and the foundation of all these things leading up to how black women move today as a collective with other women, or building with other women, or strengthening other women. See, when you have come from a broken home, let's say you didn't have a mother and a father, and the communication was poor. Okay. And when you did have communication or hear communication amongst people, it was never in a high vibration. Like, you are powerful, or you can do this, or you can have whatever you want to have in life. A lot of us didn't hear those things growing up. So now we're seeing toxic relationships in the home, whether it be with your mother, with your father, your stepdad, whatever the case may be. Now, as a young girl, as a young black girl, we have now trauma and things that are being instilled in us because how we were raised when we were younger. It does take a toll on how black women come together as a collective in their adult years, in their teenage years. If you have come up in a home, and let's say you did come up in a home where your father was great, or your mother was great, or whoever your guardian was, and they have taught you how to, first and foremost, properly love yourself as a young black child at that time, a young black girl at that time, a young black teenage girl at that time, 9 times out of 10, you probably won't put everything together as successfully as you would have if you had been instilled with the proper way to love yourself, or how to speak to others while you were growing up. You know, as a black woman, I have had the opportunity to come up in a home where I was raised by my mother, and my grandmother was there. My grandmother was a strong figure in my life. She was like my mother, okay? But she instilled gems in me. She would do things that at that time, as a young black girl, I didn't necessarily understand until I got older. And then after she transitioned many years ago, I started seeing that the things that I went through in my childhood affected me greatly as I had grown up, especially coming outside of my shell to bond with another black woman, or be a part of group activities and things like that. Let's go to another example as how today, collectively, it can detour how black women come together based off things that have occurred or things that have happened to them. Let's say you are a black woman. Okay? And you have a partner, whether it be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whatever the case may be. Let's say that this relationship is verbally abusive. This person verbally abuses you. Maybe you are someone who does not know how to deal with that, and you allow all these things to keep happening. You know, you're not saying nothing when your partner is verbally abusing you. You're not saying anything when your boyfriend is verbally abusing you. So now you are beginning to build this wall, okay? Not only does it strip away your power, now it also strips away your power to speak. And then what ends up happening? You have the tendency to not communicate properly when you are amongst others. Now, when you see somebody, you probably really don't even want to speak because you are going through so many things personally. You don't know how to properly handle it or how to properly let it escape from your body so that you may be able to properly progress. But we can't do that because a lot of us have not been, not per se taught, but it hasn't been instilled in us. You know, I have been out shopping, whatever the case may be, just out in public in general. And I'm at a place in my life where I try to speak to everyone. Okay? If you make eye contact with me and we're at the store, I'm still going to say hello. Okay, you know, we've been having to wear our masks, so, you know, it takes away from our capability when we make eye contact with someone to really see what they're saying. So, you know, we have had to learn, even throughout this experience with COVID, how, you know, important proper communication is. So even still, you know, I would like nod my head or something like that when I have on my mask when I'm out. But I have spoken to black women. I can be at Walmart, hey, how you doing? Have not gotten a response back. How can you be a black woman who say that you support other black women, but you can't do something as small as saying hello when you see another black woman in your presence, or saying hello or giving a compliment to another black woman who may have on a better outfit than you? Or maybe her hair looks better than yours. Maybe on the outside she looks that she is just everything that you wish that you can be. But you know what? We have to retrain our minds as black women that we are not in a competition. I hear so much and I see it so much on my timeline. Black lives matter. Black lives this, black lives that. And I get it. Have we not been hurt multiple times as black women? Have we not been abused multiple times as black women? But I want to say this, and this is not a scripted show. I don't have any notes or anything like that. This is me speaking clearly off what I have been through, what I have seen, and facts. This is not theory here on When Jocelyn Speaks. If you do not learn how to come out of that trauma, if you do not learn how to come from that depression, if you do not learn how to start loving yourself, we as black women will fail as a collective. During this time of this pandemic, a lot of money has been floating around, which has been a way of replenishing what was taken away. A lot of you have lost a lot. We'll just say that. A lot of you have lost a lot. But now that the world is being replenished, there have been a lot of opportunities for grants. There have been a lot of opportunities for assistance. There have been a lot of opportunities. So when you have received large lump sums of money, when you have received money unexpected, why are we as Black women collectively not coming together and saying, you know what, I got $1,000 or I got $2,000, I got $3,000. Let's go ahead and invest in a commercial building. Or you know what, I know that you have that business. Can you go ahead and train me on that? So I can start bringing in that income and now I can help somebody else. See, what happens is it's a energy exchange. When you are around people who are vibrant, who are positive, they're always talking about their goals and things that they want to do. What is that going to do? It is going to drive you to be positive, to be ambitious, to be motivated, to be encouraged, to be inspired, versus you going around another Black woman who may not be on the same level as you. You see, we have the opportunity to change the energy. We have the opportunity to create opportunity for our other Black sisters. But we have been so traumatized. We have been so much into a competition and feel that that's healthy to do so. Why is it that materialistic things of the world or monetary things of the world will dictate how one Black woman looks at another one? So just because she's driving a seemingly better car than what you are, now you're envious towards her. Because that's how you have been taught, that it's a competition, that your outfit has to be better than her outfit. Your hair has to be better than her hair. And, you know, I can't point the finger and say, you know what, you can't do that or you can't feel like that. I am here to tell you that you have to take a traumatic experience and turn it into a positive experience. Everything that you have went through has only led you into the person that you have to be today. But if there is not a better time to start retraining our Black sisters, to retraining the Black sisters, untraining the Black sisters, do you know how much more powerful we could be? But no, a lot of us, a lot of y'all, whatever tense you want to put it, you're too worried about cosmetic. And I don't mean just lip gloss. I don't mean eyelashes and things like, I'm just meaning just the outer appearance, period. The physicality, period. Banding together is not being a snake behind another Black woman's back. Banding together is saying, you know what, sis, I know you don't know how to do this, but I do. Let me go ahead and show you. We fail as a collective because it's always a competition. If you see a Black woman who is seemingly in a position of being a boss, of being a leader, you would think that other Black women on the outside looking in who are trying to accomplish their goals, who are trying to accomplish their visions, would sought them out for questions. You would think that they would try to have lunch with them. If I see another Black woman who is doing better than I am, who is more experienced than I am, I'm not going to be jealous and envious of her. I'm kindly reaching out to her, seeing what I got to do to speak to her so she can boss me up some more, because there is always somebody in a position who's better than your position. But you don't know what that person had to go through to get there. You don't know what she had to go through to get there. You know, I have come at a place in my life where I have failed so much. I have failed so much at starting businesses, multiples of things, until I began to untrain my mind on how I looked at things. I didn't fail at anything. I learned. That first time that I lost everything, I had to start over. That was one of the most scariest things in my life. And then I learned it's not about falling off. It's about how you can get back on. How can we get the community of the Black sisters to walk into their power, to put their guards down, to be open to barter exchange? I have multiple occasions been out, waved, didn't get a wave back. But the moment that I speak to a white woman, a Caucasian woman, they'll speak back in the most highest vibration that they can have. Always open to help if I've ever needed it. But if I reach out to another Black woman, another Black sister, it's always about their monetary exchange. It's always a competition. We cannot come together collectively and create businesses. We cannot come together collectively and break generational curses if we have not learned to rid past traumas. You have to accept the things that you have been through and use that for a breakthrough. Black women, we want so badly to be open to other Black women. But guess what? We have trust issues. We don't trust other Black women. Why? Maybe because you were that friend or that sister who looked out for someone on many different occasions. Maybe you were that someone who was always there. But the moment you reached out to someone for that exact favor, or maybe it could have been something else, you didn't get that in return, did you? How many of you have been through that? And guess what? That creates barriers. That creates building walls. Now, when we are around other women who can place us in a position to boss us up so that we can keep it going throughout our community, so that we're all knowledgeable, so that we all know what to do, we don't do that. Now, granted, I have had the opportunity to meet many of successful Black women. I have been able to meet many Black women who are great leaders, because I have learned throughout the Black community, especially our sisters, because being that we're talking about Black sisters today, I have to make sure that I keep the focus on that. You know, Black women are the hardest women to talk to. And that is something that we can change. But we have to untrain how we have grown up, what we have been through, and what we are currently going through. We have to have the intuitiveness of the energy exchange. Turn your negative into a positive. I cannot emphasize how many women I have helped, how many men I have helped across the world, and how many people have helped me as well. But working with the black woman has been the most challenging. She is the most beautiful jewel, but has not been treated as such. When you have these barriers that have been created, it always gives us that feeling that we have to look at people from the corner of our eye. We have to have our peripheral vision on 10 at all times. Versus a lot of different other communities. And I'm not saying other communities do not have faults, that they do not have errors, and that they don't have traumas and things like that. But we have to speak from our facts and our journeys and what we are going through. It doesn't matter so much what we're seeing in the other communities, because we have to make a change here within our community first. I have met some of the most intelligent black women. Some of the most intelligent people that I've ever met have been black. But the moment it is time to create a business plan with another black woman, when it is time to create a business plan with black women as a collective, it's always, I got to reschedule. Something came up. When I tell black women how I have had hurdles and I have made it to this place, or I have scheduled appointments with black women multiples of times to try to tell them, you know what, look, I have made this mistake. Maybe I can keep you from making that same mistake as well. This is how you get from this place to this place. But you can't even get the majority of those women to even have that conversation with you, because it creates a sense of fear. Black women do not want to be around another black woman that they feel is in a better position than them, because they will feel like that other person is being superior, and that is the wrong way of thinking. We have to be able to untrain our minds to retrain it. If you want to make a change in the black community, within our black sisters, it is going to first be in communication. Knowing that we are not against each other. We can break that chain. We can break that chain. That we do not have to be against one another for no reason at all. If you are knowledgeable and your sister is knowledgeable and her cousin is knowledgeable, let's just say on 3 to 4 different topics, 3 to 4 different black women. Now you have placed all these women together who have structured a plan, and they all know how to do something differently. Now you have a corporation. Now you have the opportunity to keep reproducing. Now you have the opportunity to train. Now you have the opportunity to show, look, this is how we can do this together. This is how we can replicate our money. And this is where we begin to break those generational curses. Black women fail as a collective because we are too ignorant. We don't know any better on a lot of things. And then we have that mind frame that, you know what, I can figure it out on my own. I don't have to ask anybody for help. I don't have to raise my hand that I'm inquisitive and I don't know something, because I'm smart enough. I can figure it out. And yes, sis, you might be smart enough. But just imagine if you have a team of black women who know how to properly work together, who know how to properly communicate with one another, and they are all sharing what it is that they know. until we begin to heal past traumas, until we begin to heal toxic relationships, whether it be with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your business partner, I don't care if it's your cousin, your mother, your father, until you begin to remove these toxic things to allow you to have your own way of retraining your mind and not solely basing how you communicate with others or treat others because of what you have been through. This creates a disruption in the community of the Black sisters. I see more Black sisters investing into things that have no return versus our Black sisters taking some of this stimulus money and actually investing it, or taking this stimulus money and putting it with someone else who is like-minded, so that we may continue to replicate, so that we may continue to have that financial security. Why are we not walking into our power? Some of us have to stand up to be the leader. Some of us have to stand up and say that we are tired of beefing with y'all. We are tired of being in a position where we feel that we can't talk to you because we don't know what you're going to say. Black women have so many gifts. Black women are so poised. Black women are so intelligent, so independent, so dependent, so all of these things. But it makes no difference if we are not properly using or utilizing these things to get to the places where we need to be. We have to start breaking chains. Be a leader. Every Black woman that I have spoken to, or that I have mentored, or that I have coached, when I ask them, would you rather have money, leadership, or power? A lot of them will say money. Some of them will say power. And not that those answers are wrong, but you have to really sit and think about it. What is the point of having money if you can't continue to replicate it, or if you cannot show someone a trade, or if you cannot help? Because at the end of the day, you cannot take any of these things with you. You have to either invest it, or you have to show how you got it to be able to get that return again for generations to come. You see, as I have helped and they have asked or answered those questions, would you rather have money, leadership, or power? It should be leadership. Because you can have all the money in the world and still be unhappy. You can still have all the power in the world and no one like you. Having leadership is something that all of our Black sisters need to step into. You need to step into your power. Because this will create a positive energy exchange. There's nothing like walking into a room and you are the ray of sunshine and you are surrounded by people who are unhappy. Their vibration is low. Have you walked into a place and now the music has changed? People are talking. You're vibrant. That creates a positive energy exchange. We have the power to create that exchange throughout our Black community and throughout our Black sisters. We have to be more approachable. We have to be coachable, not envious of one another. If you see an opportunity to be amidst people who are in a position that is better than yours, that should be something that we should all take humbly. Black women fail as a collective because of communication, because of trauma, out of ignorance. And then it becomes spiteful. Then it becomes evil. Because we have not, and I can't say every single black woman, but the majority have not been properly taught communication, have not been properly taught how to love yourself. When you love yourself and you are showing yourself self-care, you will look at the world differently. You won't have time to be envious with another black woman. You won't have time to be jealous of another black woman. You'll see every black woman who is doing something as an opportunity for us to continue to keep growing. We have to let those barriers down. We got to let those guards down. We got to let those walls down. Because there's nothing more unattractive than a beautiful black woman exteriorly. But when she starts talking, it's different. Because what does that do to the collective? It then creates an image for us all. Yes, you are a reflection of me. I am a reflection of you. You can't get 50 women, black women from every corner of the world right now and have them sit together in a room and not anyone be envious of somebody there or someone not having attitude. We have to step out of that because this is how most of society will perceive the black woman to be. That we're ignorant, that we're ghetto, that we don't know how to speak well, that we depend on government assistance. All these things are contributing factors on how we gather collectively. Until you put up that wall of steel for the right reasons, we will not have anything collectively as a unit. Yeah, you might have a good job independently. You may have a little bit of money saved independently. But if you are not utilizing these things to boss somebody else up, to place someone else in a position to keep it going, then everything that you have, it really doesn't even matter. Because at that point, you're just doing it for yourself. I'm speaking to those who understand that we have to come together collectively in order to have something. When there are opportunities to increase, when there are opportunities for you to be around another black woman who is wanting to change the way that we do things, this is an opportunity for us to start breaking those chains. There are too many black women who are not knowledgeable because of how they were raised or what they have seen. See, now we have the power because now you have to say, you know what? I did go through this, Jocelyn, when I was younger. I didn't have anybody to talk to. Or, you know, I was in a violent relationship. I didn't know how to speak about that. You have to come to a place where you say, you know what, I have been through all of these things. Maybe these are contributing factors, but I have to exchange that energy and make a difference. Every day that you get up, you have an opportunity to be great. Every day that you get up is an opportunity to be a better version of yourself. Why are black women not coming together collectively? See, you have to have the spirit of discernment to know who's who. And you'll know it because what you are putting out is what you're going to get back. If you are trying to make a change within yourself, people will begin to see it. If you are becoming better on social media, people will begin to see it. If you are walking in your power and becoming a leader, people will begin to see it because now you are doing things that require leadership and leadership skills. You will just naturally begin to walk into it. So if you are a black woman who is wanting to make a change within yourself and within other black women, it will reflect that. Because now you are asking for this to the universe. There can be a positive change. There's no need for us to have an attitude just for no apparent reason at all, because you don't know her or because she looked at you funny. Where do we come to the point where all of those things have been a brainwash and we have not been properly instilled with morals and ethics, how to speak to people, how to treat ourselves, knowing what to expect when we go out into the world? So if you are someone who is a leader, if you are someone who is knowledgeable about things, you have the opportunity to break those chains as well. You know, as I have, and even still progressing, walking into my power, really doing things that I'm passionate about, things that I love and things that I enjoy, I can't ignore the fact that black women are the worst women to deal with. This is not a theory. It is a fact. For 30 days, I took a poll or a survey per se on speaking to black women while I was out in public versus speaking to white women. Out of 100, more than 50% of those black women did not speak to me when I spoke back. More than 50%. We have to stop being so hard to talk to because it will reflect in our business ships. It will reflect in our relationships. It reflects how we are growing as a collective. I shouldn't feel that if I'm speaking to a black woman out in public that she's going to try to fight me, or because she's having a bad day, or she going to think I'm rolling my eyes at her. This is where we fail, because we feel that we have to be against one another all the time. We feel that we have to be defensive all the time. Why can't I just be saying hi, sis? Why can't I just reach out to you in your DM and present you with an opportunity because it's making a way for me? Why does it always have to be, oh, she's trying to get some money. Oh, she's trying to do this and do that. No, maybe there are other black women out there who care about black women, about our black sisters. Maybe there are some black women out there that want to see you win, that want to see you be successful, but we have so many guards up, so many walls up, that we like, no, I can just do it on my own. Nah, I'm cool. I ain't trying to. And that's how it is. Let's face it. You have more ignorant black women than there are black women who are unbiased, logical, respectful, business orientated, street orientated. I don't care who feels a way that I said it. But that can be changed. We do not have to wear a stigma or this perception that people have given us that we're ghetto or ignorant, we don't know things. No, we are some of the most intelligent species to walk this earth. So when you are hollering about Black Lives Matter and things like this, I get it. I get it. Because, you know, your skin is black and things like this. But then you have to look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm really not about the Black Lives Matter movement. Because when there is an opportunity for us to come together collectively, y'all don't want to do that. A lot of you do not know what it means to build generational wealth, and that we have more power when we come in numbers. If I have a successful business and I know how to properly train someone else to open up another sector of that very same business, so now guess what? We have created additional revenue. We know how to do it because someone is successful there and we have been trained by them. See, it's a domino effect. That's why I'm always emphasizing that we have to boss it up. Because if we're not bossing it up, what are we doing? If you are going to stand on something, stand on it. Black sisters have to learn how to come together collectively. What you're doing on your own, sis, means nothing if you're not trying to show everybody how we can break these chains. Because there will be people who will have their walls up. There will be people who will say, you know what? I just don't know. Or, I do have trust issues. We have to be able to properly communicate. Communication is key. And what I have also learned is that everybody is not out to get you. There are people who have been through trauma, like myself. There are people who have been through forms of abuse, like myself. There are people who have lost everything, like myself, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Every single time I bossed up, every single time I remember what I did, so I know what not to do. I tell people all the time, I'd rather have a coach or a business partner or a mentor of someone who has actually been through something. A person who has lost everything, or a person who has been through traumatic experiences, because they are going to be the ones to be able to tell you, you know what, I've done this. This is what you do not want to do. There should not be envy if someone is more well-versed than you are. If someone, their vocabulary is more expanded than yours. Instead of being the way that we have been taught how to be, do it on our own. The black woman is the most strongest woman I have ever met. She'll do everything on her own. We will do everything on our own. But then what happens when we have done everything on our own? When people come around who are also trying to be a part of whatever it is that you are doing, or maybe someone is just being nice. You don't want any parts of it because you have just gained this cloak of independency that it can be a barrier. It can be a blessing blocker. It is okay to be independent as a black woman. But guess what? Some of us did not choose that independency. Some of us had no choice. So then what does that create? That creates a woman who does not want to communicate with another black woman because she is so independent. She doesn't want to hear anything else. She has it together. So now that takes a toll on the black community, the black sisters, the black women. How can we be the most innovative, the most intelligent, the most eloquent species in the world, but when it comes time for a black woman to come and speak to another black woman, it's a problem. We do not know how to communicate. We have to stop looking at everybody as a competition. When you are in competition with yourself, guess what, my sisters? You are going to always win. Today is a new day of breaking the chains. Today is a new day that we can work on coming together more as a collective. We have to start with past traumas. We have to start with toxic relationships. We have to start with accepting what we have been through so we can make that positive change of energy. Instead of saying, you know what, my father was not great to me, Jocelyn. I have it out for everyone now. I have been like that. And even still, it is a continuing journey. When we have went through so much trauma for so long, for so many years, whether it has been trauma that has happened unwillingly or trauma that you have created, because let's face it, some of us create trauma for ourselves. If you say that you want to see increase, if you say that Black Lives Matter, if you say that your sisters matter, if you are one of those ones that's always sis this and always sis that, but you are not working on us coming together as a collective, you are a snake just like the rest of them. Black women fail as a collective. We have the power to make that change. You know, I think I might end up doing a part 2 to this because there is so much that I can discuss on this topic. But today is the start. This is the day where we say, you know what? Jocelyn, she said it. We can break that trauma. We can break those communication barriers. I don't have to be envious of her. I don't have to be jealous of her. Yes, she has a nice car. Or yes, her house is better than mine. But you don't know what that Black woman, what that Black sister had to go through to get there unless you properly speak to her, unless you ask her, unless you have the audacity to ask her and not have any pride. Black women have too many pride issues. We're stubborn. We think we know it all. And you know what? There's not a problem with being knowledgeable on things. But as I said at the beginning of the show, being coachable is an asset. When you go onto a corporate America job and you walk into that interview like you know everything, I don't care what your resume says. They want to know, are you coachable? We don't care what that resume say. You have to be able to work as a collective. Even as a small business owner, even as an entrepreneur, you still have to know how to work as a collective. See, when we begin to untrain our minds, when we begin to boss one another up, we'll know that we need other businesses. We need to support other Black sisters' businesses because we can have affiliate programs. I don't have this in my business, but guess what? My sister Tiffany, she does. She does that business. Oh, you said you needed a cleaning service? I don't do that here at Jocelyn's Corporation. But at Brittany's Corporation, they do cleaning services. So let me go ahead and refer you to them. And we're going to get you taken care of. But see, Black women don't know how to come together as a collective. Y'all don't understand the power of being an affiliate. You don't understand the power of having an alliance. And I don't blame anyone who has been going through these things. I am here today on When Jocelyn Speaks to break the chains. I am here to begin to start building that foundation of untraining our Black sisters who actually want to make a change. Because let's face it, a lot of y'all will not want to make a change. A lot of y'all will not care. But there are so many Black women who are getting up every day hustling. There are so many Black women every day getting up grinding. There are so many Black women every day getting up going to college, raising kids, doing things the right way. They're not on no nonsense. They're not on no BS. They're doing everything that they're supposed to be doing, and they are willing to be a part of a team effort. But Black women are hard to speak to. If you know somebody who is making $100K a year in their business, and they're telling you that only thing you got to do is set up a free phone call or consultation, whatever, and they're going to tell you how you can be in a position to make also $100K a year, Why wouldn't you take that opportunity? A lot of times because you're envious. A lot of times because you don't want to be coachable. A lot of times because you have poor communication. And then you're ignorant. You just don't know any better. I'm telling y'all today that we have the power to break the chains. We have to come together. We have to come together as a collective. It will only start with how you view things. It will only begin with unbiased opinions, unbiased mind states. You have to be willing to break the chains within yourself first to see that it's just bigger than just you. That it's bigger than just me. That it's bigger than just her. Black women fail as a collective. And if we continue to do these things that I have discussed here today, we will continue to fail as a collective. We don't have to look at another black woman as competition. We don't have to be envious about stupid things like bundles or having your nails and stuff done. All this stuff is cosmetic and material. Let's talk about investing something into something real. Let's talk about having businesses that will continue for generations. Let's talk about trades. Let's talk about bearer bonds. Let's talk about insurance. Let's talk about, those are the real challenges that we should be doing every day. Not the busted challenge. It's cute and all. But when you talk about let's get this credit score together challenge, nobody wants to talk about that. You can't call one of your homegirls right now and say, I need 5 or 6 G's, or I got 5 or 6 G's. How about you put your 5 and 6 G's with it so we can get a semi truck? Those are the challenges that we should be doing. But guess what? When you have those leaders who come through, and there are many. When you see those mentors coming through, and there are many. When you see those coaches coming through, and there are many. That's saying, you know what? Here, my sisters, this is how we going to do it. All I need is this amount of your time. And I'm going to show you how we're going to get it in. I'm going to show you how we're going to boss it up. You can't even get a black woman to even get on a free phone call to talk about her 500 credit score. You can't even get a black woman on the phone to talk about investments. But you can get her on the phone to talk about a Moneybagg Yo concert. You can get her on the phone to talk about them Cardi B tickets. You can get her on the phone to talk about them bundles that just came in from Malaysia and they go past your kneecaps. You can get her on the phone for that. And, it's funny because it's true. And I hate to laugh at something like that because it's really sad. Black women fail as a collective. I don't care how popping you are individually. What are you doing for your community? What are you doing for the next black sister that is saying, I need your help? That is saying, I need you. What are you doing? Black women, we have the power to break the chains. We have the power to come together collectively and set the tone. Black women, it had to be said that y'all got to get y'all shit together. We got to get our shit together. Because guess what? When you're the laughing stock, I'm the laughing stock. And I don't want to be the laughing stock for nobody. We are deep reflections of one another. When they say birds of a feather flock together, yes, we do. It's just that these birds don't know that they are part of this flock. Their communication is poor. Y'all, this is an episode of When Jocelyn Speaks. We have tuned in on why Black women will fail as a collective. If you are wanting a part 2 to this show, please just let me know in the comments that you are wanting a part 2. Please make sure that you are following When Jocelyn Speaks on Facebook. Instagram will be coming soon for that. Please make sure y'all are supporting. Y'all, we are out. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has been amazing.